I was first diagnosed with cancer January of 2013. Started as just a small melanoma, but quickly progressed into something more. And by October of 2013, I was already had 2 surgeries and was undergoing 5 weeks of daily radiation treatment. The surgery and the radiation treatment, of course, didn't work. And unknown to me, my wife also became sick. By December 11th, she was so ill, I rushed her to the hospital, and 3 weeks later, she passed. In the span of 19 months, I lost my mom, my dad, and my wife, and I'm dealing with stage 4 cancer.
Approximately 8 weeks ago, I was a strong, healthy young man, 63 years old, retired recently, enjoying life. Thought we were on a good road for retirement. Things were kind of planned out, some traveling, spent a lot of time together. And then about 8 weeks ago, I started getting sick. Abdominal pain, back pain. And finally went to the doctor a couple of days after that started, and the doctor rushed me through a bunch of tests and come back and said that I had pancreatitis. More tests, and about 2 weeks later, the doctor came out and said that I had pancreatic cancer. My grandmother, my dad, and his sister all passed away of pancreatic cancer, so that's always been in my mind for a number of years now, that that's a possibility. One of the last appointments was with the doctor, and he said, it was the oncologist, and he said, there's no surgery that's going to take care of your procedure. There's nothing they can do there. The Whipple surgery that we've been praying about, because we thought we caught this early, says it's not going to do any good. The cancer's too far advanced under your spine, lymph nodes, possibly in the liver, besides the pancreas. He said we could do radiation, help relieve some of the pain, physical pain, because there's different kinds of pain. And we could do chemotherapy, and that could lengthen your life by 30 to 50%. Well, I know that if you go through treatments, that you have between 6 to 8 months to live. God says your days are numbered. And it hit me hard that I could see my number coming up. And I wasn't ready. This was not the plan. This was not my plan. But I turned it over to God and said, God, this is your plan. Somehow you're going to be glorified through this.
And I had a time where, after all these deaths in my family and the stage 4 cancer, which had now migrated into my left breast, my right lung, my liver, my spine, and there really wasn't a lot to hope for at that point. Conventional treatment was just totally ineffective. And I can remember on the floor in my living room weeping and telling God that you're asking too much. The price is too high. And God spoke to me, not in an audible Kenneth Copeland sort of way, but through his word. And he said, oh, my child, is the price too high? Hasn't the highest price already been paid? And it was a moment of catharsis for me. I started to realize that suffering draws you closer to Christ. It draws you closer in a way you couldn't imagine. And coincidentally, I was reading through 2 Corinthians chapter 4, and Paul speaks about suffering, and I clung to that verse, and I realized at that point on the carpet in my house weeping that God loved me in a way that he would allow suffering to come into my life just to draw him closer. And that cathartic moment was that there is no affliction, no pain, no suffering here on earth that can compare to eternity. When you think you have everything taken away, and I did, with both my parents and my wife and my health, I realized even with that, when you have Christ, you have everything, and nothing is taken away from you. And so I began to look at cancer as a gift, not a punishment. And I began to thank God for what he brought into my life, and almost to the point where I would thank him every day for the opportunity just to love and serve him.
My goal is to live life as naturally as possible. I've decided to go against any treatments. No treatments are going to be done. I'll watch my diet and things like that. Typically, pancreatic cancer, once it's found, is 8 to 9 months. So if I go with the chemo, it would just be adding a couple of months of life. And I'd rather have the quality of life to spend with family, friends. The Bible talks a lot about races, sports. I was an average person in sports. I was always around a bunch of good guys who could play the games a lot better than I could, and I tried to be as good as they were. But it talks about running to obtain the prize. And I've been running, but never really running to obtain the prize. Things have changed now. A friend of mine taught high school where I went to school. He just retired here a few years ago. I did not know him then. He came after I left home. And he also had coached a track team. And we were talking a few years ago, and he said that he was working, still running every day. He was working on his kick, his final run to the finish line. He says, I want to be able to finish strong. And my goal in this life is to finish this Christian life. Finish it strong. I want to be that solid Christian. I want to have that good testimony. Not to just the people here at church or my family, but those people I have a chance to they read my testimony, whether it's online, in person, wherever it may be. I just want to finish strong and be that ambassador for Christ. Stay strong, stay faithful. Look at your life as Christ is in charge of it, not you. Everything happens for his reason, not yours. Be an encouragement to others. Be in the Word.